All right, Tim, I want to bring you back in time a little bit of where it all started and kind of go from here. Day one with you and your family.
Well, obviously this was a long time ago.
Sure.
And I'm not sure if I can remember what was happening to me in those days, but
How old were you there?
I was probably 8 or 9, and I'm big. I'm the biggest one in my family. I've always been the biggest one in my family. Don't know how I got the big gene, but that's what happened. I don't recall having an awful childhood or an awful upbringing. It's just I really like food, and I don't know if they just like feeding me or if I had a different metabolism, but I just felt like eating was an okay thing to do, so I just kept doing it at that point in my life.
We'll scroll through these and kind of just tell us a little bit about where you're at this point.
Well, in this picture, which is another family picture, and I can probably tell you I felt horrible. This was probably a little earlier high school years.
Your glasses are cool.
My glasses are ginormous. Of course, that was the 80s.
Everything
was big in the 80s.
Yeah.
I was big in the 80s. What am I saying? But yeah, I wasn't a happy high schooler. I had friends and I was involved in, a lot of things in high school, but I don't know. I think part of it has to do with just figuring out myself and not understanding who I am versus my family versus my surroundings, and then just feeling kind of like an outsider, especially growing up in a smaller Oklahoma City. I shouldn't say Oklahoma City, but a city in Oklahoma, and just being different than everyone else because there weren't very many, Asian Americans back in those days around me anyway. So.
Continue scrolling through here. We'll see.
Depressing. This is high school graduation. I think I was just happy I made it. I look like a big blue balloon in this graduation gown, so that's nice. But again, I just think I was happy to finally get out of where I was and maybe make a different life for myself by going to college and trying to find my place there and find who I was finally.
Awesome.
Hopefully, maybe leaving this bad side of myself at that point.
I think we have a college picture in here.
We do. It's one college picture, which is not that great either, because I look like a big white giant marshmallow in this one. But here I am a student at Oklahoma State University in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and I'm a band geek, as you can probably tell.
What'd you play?
Trombone.
Trombone.
So this was, again, I think I never found out who I was at this point, and it was still a very difficult time in my life, just not understanding who I was and where I belonged, and I just got even bigger than my high school years. College was my biggest days, which I think in this picture puts me at about 310-ish.
310. Wow.
Yeah, so that was my heaviest time in my life.
Wow.
So it took a little bit of time.
How tall are you, Tim?
5'9".
5'9".
And then if we go,
I think the very last one.
let's see. This one is 4 Christmases ago.
Yeah.
And I had actually lost some weight coming out of college and getting on with my adult life after graduation. But that was kind of a brief moment of kindness, I suppose.
Yeah.
And so I pretty much gained a lot of it back and hovered around pretty much 280, 270, 280 most of my life.
Yeah.
Up until I, started with you. So it's been a tough journey, and this picture just shows me at a place that, once again, I feign happiness very well, and I
Well, you
manage
always
to,
smile, no matter how you may feel,
I
which
manage to
sometimes
keep
can be
it
a
from
cover.
most people.
Yeah.
So, I guess in a way that's good to keep it from people, to protect them from my own depression and my own anxieties and my own insecurities, but it's there.
Sure.
And it doesn't help you at all.
I think when you go through weight loss too, there's a transition time of like you still feel like you're that same person, or that you did lose weight, you lost 9 inches, but you still like have that like glimpse of negativity in your mind that maybe you can get back to where you were,
Right.
and maybe your self-worth isn't where it's at, but I assure you, buddy, you did it the right way. You worked hard, you ate right. So we'll look at one more picture here, and then I want to ask you kind of where you are today as far as how you're feeling and your weight. Here's a good one.
Well, this is probably one of the fewer shirtless options you'll have of me back in the day. But again, this was probably a good 5 or 6 years ago, actually, by now. And yeah, as you can see, the 2 friends next to me are not my size. And this was actually kind of a depressing picture for me to look at when you first brought it up, because it just reminds me that I don't ever feel like one of the pretty people. And even when I was in Vegas for vacation recently, we're at the Mirage Pool, and I felt so out of place because I just did not look like all these other tan, muscle, thinner people around me. I was pretty much one of the bigger ones there. Even though I've lost a lot of weight, I'm still one of the bigger ones around. It's depressing, and this picture reminds me of the days that I was even bigger and around most of my friends that are smaller and don't have the weight issues that I have had growing up my whole life. And so, but I have to say, this picture brings good memories too, because these are 2 of my, good friends, and they both support me in my endeavors, and they both, continually provide the love and support I need, regardless of my size, my age, my weight, my actions. They're there for me, period. So, though I'd rather have them behind my back and supporting me while losing weight, at least I know they're there regardless of the situation I'm in.
Sure.
So
Sure.
that's the good thing. The bad thing is just looking at this reminds me that, I'm nowhere near perfect. No one's perfect, but I'm nowhere near where I would ever like to be. And so hopefully I'm on the path to being where I will like myself and like the place I'm at.
Well, you're in a phenomenal path. I know you feel like you're still so far away, but the hardest part of the transformation is done, and that's just, gearing into the lifestyle that you were living, and then gear into one more that's suited to, lose weight and feel good and whatnot. So you're at 213 pounds. When is the last time you were 213 pounds? You're 41, 42 years old. When was the last time you were 213?
Probably high school.
Wow, so 15, 16 years old, 17 years old.
I surpassed that a long time ago. So, it's one of those things when you do breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you go and hit McDonald's and get, 2 Big Macs, a 10-piece nugget, a supersized fry, and a Diet Coke. what good was that Diet Coke? I'm not sure why I ever ordered Diet Coke in those days, since I seem to eat as much as I want with the Diet Coke.
Sure.
You know, I mean, when you do that 3 times a day for all your life, I mean, how else do you expect to look? And I guess I'm fortunate I wasn't even bigger
Yeah.
when I came to you.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's something I vividly will remember and can almost touch. You know, just those experiences, which in and of itself is not a good thing, but it's a reminder that I don't ever want to go back to that place again and look behind my car seat and see 40 fast food bags,
Yeah.
empty fast food bags. So, you know, that's the plan.
Well, you're 30 some odd pounds away from being over your overall goal. You know, I'm very excited to see where you can get yourself by January 1. I'm going to be here for you. Hitch Fit Team's going to be here for you. James and Diana and everyone else, all your support. I want to thank all of Tim's friends for all the support you guys gave to him. You guys were humongous for him as far as keeping him motivated and on task, so thank you very much. Man, very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
This is first part of the transformation. The second part will be completely in December, January there. You're going to be off of all sort of diabetic medication for the most part, hopefully, by your 175, 200 pound, I think you had said, and all other medications. So
That's the
we will get you there, bud. Thank you so much, Tim.